welcome to Marked Up Live.
What's up, everybody? How y'all doing tonight? What's going on? It's Thursday night. Oh, I gotta fix my mic over here. Welcome out to another episode of Marked Up Live. I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me tonight. We have none other than Johnny Ramirez, and he's actually on a bike ride, and he's on his way over here. He's got his motorcycle, so he says I'll be able to hear him when he gets here because it's gonna be loud. But welcome out to another episode of Marked Up Live, and just wanted to share a couple of things with you before Johnny gets here. Don't forget to start your watch parties. You know, I'm trying to keep growing our followers, so anything that you guys can do to help, you know, with the growing of it, just by simply sharing some of these posts that I put out there. You know, I'm always posting something, but definitely want to get you guys more involved in, you know, sharing some, like right now, just share the watch party right now. I mean, that's just a great thing right there that we can do to help support each other. But yes, you know, by all means, if you guys enjoy what I'm doing over here, thank you. I appreciate it. And I will keep doing my best to be bringing you guys some killer artists. And tonight is no exception, man, to the rule. We have Mr. Johnny Ramirez, you know, the #1 DJ, man. Like, I know we're going to get into some really cool discussion here in a little bit because we were talking earlier on the phone. And Johnny and I don't really hang out very much, but I will tell you what, man, music brings everybody together. And that's one cool thing that Johnny and I were able to do was talk about, you know, some music and some of the past. And, you know, he's got some really good things that he was talking to me about that will probably come up on the show. So I'm pretty excited about that. And what's up with the rain? You know what I mean? It's been raining. Okay, now, like, I get it, you know, but, like, I want to wash my car. You know what I mean? I know that's way off subject, has something to do with music, but I do. I want to wash my car, man. This thing's filthy. All right. Anyways, so also the internships, right? So we have the internships. So we have another slot available. We want to, you know, get somebody in here. So I'm going to keep announcing this every week. Maybe you have like a little, you know, somebody in the family, a good friend, a friend of a friend, you know, that just wants to get some experience in the podcast world, maybe going out shooting some bands on, you know, on location. Please feel free to give me a call or just message me. And I did post something about auditioning singers for one of the projects that I'm in. Actually, one of the I consult a band, a company, and so we are going to be having auditions. But I'm just telling y'all now, I haven't responded to you guys yet because there's a lot of possible potential, you know, singers that want to really try out. So I've gotten a whole list of emails and messages, and I really haven't touched them yet, only because I'm not ready to touch them yet. All right, so I hope that didn't sound horrible when that came out of my mouth. See, that sounds bad too. All right, anyways, Johnny Ramirez is calling me on the phone. Let's see what he says. Hold on. Yes, sir. Maybe he's outside. Okay, that's Johnny. All right, so anyways, that's what we're doing. And then we have a good friend of mine. I cannot go and do this show without saying happy birthday to Kathy Mata. Happy birthday, Kathy. Thank you for tuning in. I saw that you were tuning in earlier. I hope you still are. And she was at M.U.L's gravesite today. And today's her birthday as well. So happy birthday, Kathy. But yes, she was definitely at the graveside, and I really feel that, you know, she's a blessing to music. She just loves music. But on top of that, she is, you know, like out there at M.U.L. She lives in Austin. She drives over here, you know, so she's just awesome. So thank you, Kathy. Happy birthday. And we hope you have a wonderful day. All right. So Johnny's trying to call me, so I'm sure he's outside. All right. And Ray the Heather, what's up, man? What's up, Ray? All right. You're making me look at my phone. All right, so see, he's messing with me. He's texting me so you can, take me off my game. All right, so welcome out to Marked Up Live, and I'm gonna go ahead and play some video here, and has Johnny, and this guy sings, man. Like, what's up with that? So I'm gonna go ahead and let Johnny take over right here, and let me go see what's happening with my guest, and I'll be right back. You guys have been marked up. Welcome out.
They call me the radio guy. I play Tejano music, it's my high. Plus I'll be spinning records till I die. They call me the radio guy. Early in the morning when you wake up, cruising on a Sunday afternoon, bringing you some cumbias and rancheras. I got oldies and a little country too. I'm the one that makes you feel alegre. 9 to 5 and backyard barbecues. It's almost like a part of your familia. Make you smile and drive you wild, that's what I do. They call me the radio guy. I play Tejano music, it's my high. Plus I'll be spinning records till I die. They call me the radio guy. So there's Little Joe, Mas, and Pulido, Intocable, Emilio, J, and Ram. Don't forget about the Pote Posse. If you ask me, David Lee's the man. Just like me, it's all a part of Texas. Coming through the airwaves loud and clear. Like the feel of my Harley on the highway. It's what I live for. It's why I'm here. They call me the radio guy. I play Tejano music, it's my high. Plus I'll be punching buttons till I die. They call me the radio guy. And I'll be spinning records till I die. They call me the radio guy. No, que no te lo lavas, pistolita. El Johnny with David Lee.
Dude, so like he recorded a song, right? Did you hear that? That was amazing. That was Johnny singing. Johnny is here, and he just pulled up. I can hear his motorcycle out there right now. So, again, welcome out to Marked Up Live. That's the beauty of the show, man. It's live. You know what I mean? So sometimes our guests are running a little behind. Sometimes our guests are coming from out of town. Like I had a guest, Johnny Martinez, a couple of weeks back, and he was coming in from Corpus. So sometimes we get some of that. Remember, the pandemic, I know we're starting to deal with another strain again. But at the same time, things are starting to kick up again as well. So now we're kind of, it's really good to see everybody out there doing their thing again. It really is positive to see that. Of course, we still know that we have to be careful, but this is a live show, and we're on Thursdays, and Thursdays is a deeper part of the week where, gigs are going to start popping up on Thursdays, you know what I mean, and things like that. So, but Johnny's doing his bike riding stuff, and I just totally love that because that's just being free up, out on the open road. So, all right, man. So let me say hi to some people real quick. Kathy Mata, Rebecca Valadez, what's up? Melissa Lopez, and let me see, Danny Martinez. Again, happy birthday to Kathy. All right, man. I'm still here driving from dinner in Kyle. All right, Kathy. Cool, man. All right, guys. Well, Johnny's here, and let me go get him real quick, and y'all stay right here. Don't go anywhere, all right? Stay right here. right, brother? It's a warm one. Johnny Ramirez, everybody. He's here. The man, the legend, the icon.
The legend. The late legend.
The late legend?
My apologies.
That's all right, man. How was the ride? How was the bike ride?
You know what? The ride is good. The weather is humid, and it just sucks, okay?
Really?
But it was good. Had a little bike night over at Flores Country Store. Had a couple of hundred bikes there, so we had a good time and gave away a bunch of prizes. But first of all, thanks for inviting me on your podcast, brother. I mean, I don't know what I'm doing here, but I'm here.
Thank you.
All right? I don't know what I'm doing here, but I'm here.
Well, I thank you for being here, man, and for taking time away from your bike ride and all your buddies and everything. And so, yeah, we were talking a little bit. I was, just talking to the audience here a little bit about...
Tell them that I was late.
And more about, how we're going to dive into some really cool topics, from, just our industry in general, man.
Yeah,
and,
I mean, and don't feel that, you can't ask me a certain question. I'll answer everything and anything.
Cool.
So, people might not want to hear the answers because my mother once said that que yo no tengo pelos en la lengua. So don't ask me if your baby's good looking, because if it's an ugly baby, I'm going to tell you it's an ugly baby, and you're just going to get pissed at me. And, that ain't my problem. Just don't bring your ugly baby to me. That's all.
Kids, stay upstairs.
I doubt that, brother. Anyway, it's good to be here. Thanks all of you that posted on Facebook when you hit me up, and I shared it. So thank you all so much. I appreciate it. A lot of good people. But with, you set the icon. With words like that, come people that can turn on you on a dime.
Oh, yeah.
People that can hate. And I'm okay. I've always said, as a radio host, whether it was in San Antonio, in El Mágico Valle, in Austin, in Houston, wherever I was, I'm not that kind of jock that, everybody or almost everybody likes. You either hate me or you like me.
Right.
There's no in between.
So then before all the hating or before all the whatever the judgments and whatever that's been popping out, like in the past.
Oh, that's been happening forever.
Yeah.
Since day one. Let me just tell you, it's been happening since May 10th of 1993 when I came to KXTN in San Antonio. And I'm no longer there. Haven't been there since 2015. I'm sad what's happened with the station. That's another story for another day, I guess. I don't know.
Right.
But when I got there, I was just a morning show host. Some people liked me. Some people hated me. The people that hated me were obviously friends of the guy that was there previously.
Right.
But he left on his own accord. He wasn't fired. He went. He had bigger sights in his mind. He wanted to go work Houston. So, Mr. GQ in Paz Descanse was there before me, and he wanted to go to Houston. He wanted to be on the air in Houston, and he did, and he went, and he was, and so it's always been that either love or hate, nothing in between.
Nothing in between.
No, sir.
Wow, man, that's crazy.
No, it really isn't when you think about it. Some people, and I guess I'm one of them, are very polarizing. So you either love me or you hate me.
Right.
So.
But how can that not affect the outcome of any kind of like musical, like any kind of radio scene? Because you're spinning these records, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Right.
But then you have all the negative stuff, or like there's nothing in between. It's either this or it's that.
Well, look, when I came to KXTN, I had done a morning show previously in the Valley for a country station. And
Is that where you're from?
El Mágico Valle, McAllen. Yeah, go Bulldogs! So, para toda la raza, El Mágico Valle, McAllen, Mission, Far San Juan, Alamo, Brownsville, everybody in, whether it's lower, mid, or upper valley, shout out to all of you, man. And I learned a long time ago that you had to do what you wanted to do. In other words, I plan out my show, whether it sucks or it wins, or it lays a big egg. It was all, it was all on how we presented it. And I wasn't going to let the people that hated me direct me into something negative or whatever. I mean, people call me and told me I sucked and, every freaking bad word that they could. And I would say, okay, thanks, man, and hang up and keep going. because that's the mentality. You just got to keep going.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about it, we'd walk in there at 5 o'clock in the morning, and we'd continue, we'd start to do our show, and I'd already be fully prepped, and we'd rock and roll and get going, and the music. See, the best part of it, what that people don't understand, is that when I grew up in the Valley, música tejana was in my heart. Did I love rock and roll? Hell yeah. Did I love R&B? Hell yeah. But Tejano, Little Joe, I mean, Ruben Ramos, even Johnny Canales had a band back in the day. All those bands influenced me. And when I saw them as a first, generation Mexican American, because my parents came from Mexico, I said, there is a place for us here in the U.S., man. Because my mama told me one time, tú sí que estás bien jodido, mijo. Porque ni te quieren los mexicanos, ni te quieren los pinches americanos.
Yeah.
And to some extent, she was right. So we had to find our own way. And to this day, we continue to find our way, and that's not a bad thing. It's just a day-to-day thing. We have to find our way in this world, whether it's a bilingual world, whether it's a Spanish world, an English world. No le hace, hay que buscar nuestro mundo. We have to find our way in this world. So I would just keep going, man. And people would do me, and I'd pick it up on the speaker, and everybody would listen, and I would like, all right, cool, thanks. And I go on, and one time, one of my, because I work with some of the greatest people ever.
I can imagine.
I had some great sidekicks, and I always say that when I came to San Antonio, I had 10% talent and 90% luck. I was at the right place at the right time, I came to San Antonio. They needed an evening guy from 6 to 10, but the guy that was going to do mornings, which happens to be Bo Corona, he was already at KXTN, decided that he wanted to go to Houston because he wanted a music director title, whatever that means. and they said, do you want a title? I said, hell no, I just want a check, brother. I want a check, man.
Right.
I mean, I got so much debt, I just want to get paid, So then they said, okay, we'll work this weekend. And I swear to God, the thing that got me the job was that I had been doing mornings in the Valley. And back in the day, and not so much so, but back in the day, you would say, yeah, San Antonio número uno Tejano hit station, KXTN 107.5, it's 8:10, 10 minutes after 8 o'clock. That's called a double time check. You do, it's 8:10, 10 minutes after 8 o'clock because mom is hurrying, trying to get the kids ready for school because she's got to be to work. And if she doesn't hear the time, the first time when you say 8:10, she's going to hear when you say it's 10 minutes after 8 o'clock. So that's called a double time check in the radio business. And that's what got me the gig, believe it or not.
Wow.
My then owner, Warren Tishner, a great guy, La Familia Tishner gave me a great opportunity. He says, I like the way you do mornings. I like that double time check. I said, okay, man. He says, and I like that you enunciate KXTN. I like, whatever, dude. I can only do radio this way, and that's all I can do. So anyway, so that gave me the opportunity to come and do mornings. That's why I was given the morning gig. And after that, the stuff that we did on the radio, the ideas, all of that was just gravy. We just had a good time and did whatever.
So it's important to be able to tell time, people. You can get a gig like Johnny Ramirez, you know what I mean?
Now everybody just looks at their damn phone.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, oh, what time is it? Okay, it's 8:10.
Yeah, they're like this. Oh, yeah. Like I have a watch and I still look at my phone.
But back in the day, you had the big old clocks on the wall, or you had your clock on the the table by the bed, on the nightstand. So people didn't have time because they're in a hurry. And as a parent, sometimes you're in a hurry. You don't, it's like, chingao, que horas son? And you go, oh, damn, and you're in a hurry. So that's what won me the gig, honestly.
Guilty.
Yeah.
But that's cool. That's a great story, man, on how everything just kind of, landed the gig.
I was at the right time, at the right place. So it was 90% luck, and my 10% talent pulled me through. So
I think that's me, too, when it came to this guy.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, I turn around, I'm going, yeah, that's more than 10%
and I'm the only pendejo
brother.
that's right in brown pants. Everybody's, I didn't get the memo, I guess.
Yeah, no, that's more than 10% talent right there, man.
And speaking of Emilio, man, Emilio just said hello. We got some friends here looking. Kathy Mata was on, Rebecca Valadez.
Hey, Rebecca Valadez, you're a hard act to follow, girl.
Yeah, she's amazing, man. And that's a funny woman, dude. That's
I'm sorry?
I said she's a funny woman.
Oh, I thought you said she's a sexy woman, which she is, by the way. Con todo respeto, Rebecca, because you're married and have children.
That's right. Kathy Mata, again, birthday girl. And Patricia
By the way,
Fernandez.
can I say something about Kathy Mata?
Yes, you can,
It's her
brother.
birthday today. Happy birthday. She is the biggest Emilio fan that I know.
Dude.
She's got the Emilio logo tattooed somewhere on her
Yeah.
body. I don't know if it's where, a gentleman like me can see it. Right, a gentleman. But she does have an Emilio tattoo. Wherever Emilio went, there was, Kathy Mata right
Yeah,
there. And
yeah.
now she follows the boys, which I think is really
Yeah,
really
yeah,
cool.
because I just saw her because I'm doing the keys, for that tribute. So I
Right.
saw her and she came out and it was really good to see her. And then she came into town today to go to Emilio's site and you know what I mean. So
By
she's
the way,
awesome,
can I
man.
just say that the tribute band is going to be up in the Dallas-Fort Worth area in
Arlington on Sunday?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're in Arlington, and it's my son's birthday.
Really?
Marky. So I'm gonna take him with me.
No,
He's turning
really?
19.
No
He's taking a little
shit.
road trip
Good
with
for
dad.
you, man.
And he plays keys too, man.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get him. I mean, I want him to do some stuff with me.
Yeah.
Like when I start doing my own original project, I want him to be like my second keyboard
So it's going to
player.
be a great show, man. Emilio
Yes, it is.
Emilio, Fourth, Diego, the Grupo Rio,
Yep.
Tony Casanova without his boots on as he
Albert.
plays.
Yeah, Albert.
Albert Casanova, my bad, without
Yes.
the boots on.
And Pete? Pete?
So I mean, yeah, Petey
Ibarra?
he's still squeezing the box, man.
still squeezing the box.
So after all these years,
Now when he opens up the bellow, it matches his panza.
wow, that wasn't me, Pete. Okay, that was not me.
I
okay?
love you, Pete. But it's like this. It's like, oh, it fits.
But yeah, they're going to be up there, and it's going to be Texas Live is what they call it. It's in between the new Rangers ballpark and the AT&T Stadium there. So
Yeah.
you should
That's
you
gonna be
guys are
nice.
that is a spectacular venue, folks. If you haven't seen it, make the trip up to Arlington and see that venue. It is, como dicen en mi barrio, está chingón el venue ese. It's really a nice venue, man.
Man, it's great playing with the boys too, man. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Because we we're very, very tight, and it really feels good to that. Just as kids, man, just seeing them grow up, and then but we've been playing together like even when they were kids, like
Right.
teens, like Emilio he's very influential, man, and he's very strong in what he says, even when at that age. Hey, Mark, man, hey, man, just get some gigs, man, and we'll go play, man. All right, sure. And I would go get us some gigs, and we would go jam.
I was puzzled when I saw
Love
him and
you,
he
Emilio.
had a Beatle haircut. I was like, what the heck? What is this, 1964 or what? But he's grown out of it, and yeah. So,
Yeah, for sure, man.
but,
He's got his
pretty good
look.
drummer he's turned out to be.
He's a badass drummer. Dude. He's a badass drummer, and he wrote he wrote all the songs to my album.
Really?
That's coming out probably sometime before the end of the year.
You know what?
Yeah.
They wrote a song that the California cowboy Jorge Moreno is singing, and there's some licks there that sound
right?
it sounds like Emilio. I expect to hear Emilio coming out of the speakers, but it's Jorge Moreno. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but from time to time I hear an Emilio song. And believe it or not, I grab my phone. I still have Emilio's phone number in my phone.
Me too.
And I'm like, baboso, he's dead. It just, I just still hard to believe, hard to process.
Oh yeah, man. And it was like, and then going back to Kathy again, it was really cool seeing her over there, man.
Very cool.
Very, very cool. And then so we got Patricia Fernandez, hey Mark, Carlos Elizondo, Levitt Bro, Olga Ramirez, hi guys. Emilio's saying hello to you.
Yeah.
And Juan Trevino, Carlos Elizondo, yeah. Gabo Fierro. There's a lot of guys watching. Ray Salas, what's up, brother? That's my cousin right there. Some family. All right. So a little while ago, like right before you got here, man, I want to talk about this real quick. I played one of your videos, it's one of your MP3s of you singing your morning show. It's not a morning show thing. It was a Tejano song that you were singing about your radio personality, and it's the one
I was
that
singing.
was that you? That was not you singing?
I don't know. I have no idea what you're
That was
talking
you.
about.
I know that was you.
I have. Are you talking about the song that was on the David Lee Garza?
Yes,
album?
the David
Okay.
Lee.
Yeah. That song was written by Billy O'Rourke and somebody else.
Billy.
And the concept of the song, David did an album titled Friends because it wasn't, the musicales were not a part of it. And he picked some of the greatest vocalists, man, everywhere. And I was like Gary Hobbs and, Eddie Perez from Del Mágico Valle, the Old Fabulosos Cuatro. He picked these great singers, Jesse Serrata. I was like, damn.
Dude, it's amazing how he kept doing that. And it always worked.
Yeah. And he also, by the way, he also shot everybody that sang on the album. There's a DVD out there with all of us on stage at Thirsty Horse singing our songs. Anyway, yeah, that song, The Radio Guy. is a song that was inspired by Gibby Velasquez. He has family in West Texas somewhere, and every time you go to West Texas, they had us piped in, through the internet on the speakers.
Oh, nice.
And they're going, hey, y el radio guy, ¿qué dice el radio guy? And well, Gibby was like, pues ahí está, he didn't know what to answer. Ese radio guy, hijo de su ta cabrón, ese radio guy, and that kind of stuff. So David had given me, I think it was an old Fabuloso song. He says, do you want to try it? And I said, yeah, I'll try it, man. I haven't sung since high school choir and before that, but I was like, yeah, I'll give it a try. I'm not a singer.
High school choir, Johnny Ramirez, high school choir.
Trust me, it was way probably freshman year, because after that I said, yeah, I'm not into this. But anyway, so I was like, well, I'll give it a shot, David. I said, I don't want to embarrass anybody, especially you. I don't give a shit about embarrassing myself.
Right.
That's what I do on the radio every day. And then Gibby said, no, watch out. And he had this idea. So Billy O'Rourke and another gentleman, I forget his name, wrote this radio guy, this song. And hey, man, I'm blessed that I was asked to. I did it. And that album, garnered a Latin Grammy for David Lee. So I have a certificate somewhere, in my junk that I take from house to house, So it's somewhere there. And I thought it was really, really cool that I was.
So you have the Grammy certificate.
The certificate.
The
yes,
certificate.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, cool. I was like, yeah, all right.
And it's in a box somewhere, you're telling me, bro, or something?
In a box of somewhere, yeah. Stuff that I know it's not trash. I know I'm just carry it from house to house, from garage to garage. But it's somewhere there. I saw it. I must have seen it about a year ago.
Maybe you can give it to me, and I'll scratch out your name, and I'll put Mark.
Dude, up. I'm sure you have enough of those things, man.
I wish, dude. One day.
One day. Hey, man, you know what? As talented as you know what? Can I say something about our Tejano músicos?
Heck yeah, brother.
They're so talented, so diverse, because they can sing. It's kind of like when Emilio did the country thing. I'm going, man, that's ballsy. He's the king right now of Tejano at that point, 93, 94, 95. He was a shit. Him and Selena.
Yeah.
I mean, David Lee was rolling, Ram was rolling, Jay was rolling, but Emilio was the king. Who was on CBS The Morning Show? Emilio.
Yeah.
And no disrespect to anybody, folks. I don't want you to take this as a disrespect, hit or a knock on you guys. But he was the king.
Yeah.
And for him to say, I want to do country, I was like, wow, that's ballsy. And it took some balls, and he took it all, and he did it, and he did it good. Our artists are so talented and so diverse that, rock and roll heroes are there, country heroes are there, but our Tejano artists can kick all of their asses. If our music was mainstream, forget about it. You know, it's time to change the channel,
right.
Because our artists can do anything and everything. You do it with your band, X Factor band.
Yes.
Stephanie Montiel does it with her band.
Yeah, with Lush, and I helped her out with Lush for a while. Her and Gabe.
Ladez, talk about a talented group. They can do R&B, they can do country, they can do rock, they can do Tejano. All these bands out there that are so gifted and talented. I'm sure I've forgotten a slew of them. But I mean, even David, will let Billy do his country thing.
Yes.
Obviously, Billy is, hey, David, who's that gringo? It's Billy. But he can do the country thing.
Yeah,
so, I mean, our
true.
artists are so talented, so diverse that they can do anything.
Yeah.
And as, Rebecca did a bachata song, right?
Yeah.
So there you go. I mean, Ram, but bachata rosa, right? I think is the name of the song. I mean, we can do so many things, and by we I mean nuestros músicos.
Right.
And I just feel that for people right now, there was a time when you'd go to a barbecue and you'd hear Little Joe, Ruben Ramos, Emilio playing in the background while they were barbecuing. And again, no disrespect to any genre, but now you go and you hear R&B, hip hop. Is that a bad thing? Not necessarily, but we have to teach our children. It's upon us. It's upon you, upon everybody that has kids, to sit them down and say, hey, guess what? I bought you the bike you wanted, but you're going to sit down with me 1 hour every week, and I'm going to play Emilio. I'm going to play Ram. I'm going to play Little Joe, Ruben Ramos. And just open that door to them. Because when I first came here, I was blown away. San Antonio was a true Tejano town. we were going to high schools to do pep rallies.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit. Because I did Tejano in the Valley, and it was 25, 54. And here it was like, I was like, holy crap. It was on fire. It didn't matter what we do.
I know.
We could drop the F-bomb on the radio and they would love it.
Would you?
No, I did once, and I got suspended for 3 days.
Really?
Man. Yeah, and it was the worst. I didn't even think about it, but anyway, but it was on fire, dude. And somebody asked me one time, "Will Tejano ever be number one again, like it was back then?" I'm going, it depends. If we, as parents and grandparents, indoctrinate, teach our kids about nuestra música, because it's more than just music. It's part de nuestra cultura, nuestra herencia. We grew up con el acordeón, el bajo sexto in the backyard, at barbecues. It's, can you love country? Can you love rock and roll? Hell yeah. It's all great music. There's so much good music out there, and there's so much shitty music out there.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, if you love all genres, hey man, the more you are open about music, the better person I think you are, the better we are as a people.
Yeah.
But it's important for us to first and foremost promote our género. Yeah, do you want to do some Earth, Wind, and Fire? Oh, hell yeah, I'll do Reasons. I'll play Reasons anytime, But I think that it's up to us. When I came here in 93, I mean, if you think about it, Emilio was, late 20s maybe?
In 93? Okay.
93, 94.
Well, 93, I was 23. So then he's 4 years older than me. He was like 27, 28. Okay. No, yeah, because I got in the band about a year. Yeah, right before he turned 29.
Okay. Ram Herrera, basically same age.
Yeah.
David Lee Garza. Selena, she was a baby. There was, all these bands were young. They were up and coming. They were young. That attracts the youth. As much as we like to think that it doesn't, it does.
Right.
Right now there's a few young acts out there, but for whatever reason, they're not making any noise.
Right.
You have that young lady that Abraham had for a little bit.
Elizabeth.
Huh?
Is it that girl, Elizabeth something or?
No, is it Isabel or Elizabeth?
Isabel.
Isabel, yeah. Beautiful young lady. She's 13, 14, 15, whatever she is. Then we had Las Phoenix from Houston. They were all young ladies as well. We have Tristan Ramos from West Texas. We have all this young talent, but we need more. We need a heavier inflection of young talent, and I think that attracts the youth.
So how do you feel about them? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but how do you feel about the growth of it? Like, okay, so we need the talent,
right?
But like the musical growth part of it, like we're not in the 90s anymore, no. and I know that we are an accordion driven, music style. So how do we get our younger generation? Of course, you're right. It's up to us. It's just like when you're trying to raise a family. You want to give them godly, lessons and like, right. So you can be a good person. And like how do we approach that when it comes to like supporting this music? Because I know that we have producers that are trying. I don't know so much about changing the game, but just trying to stay current. And it's really hard to be current. And, how do you?
There's bands out there and there's different types of bands. For example, I've seen it with my own eyes. But for whatever reason, Jesse Turner and Signo attract a young audience.
Right.
That's a heavy accordion bass.
Yeah.
That's almost norteño.
Very good example.
Right? So he attracts a young audience. Every so often, I see Elida attracting a young audience. And then all of a sudden, all you see is old audience. Groups, good, bad, or impartial. I know the Cumbia Kings, people hate them, people love them. They, for a minute there were, and probably still are, attracting the younger audience because the way they dress, the way they act, they look more like a hip-hop artist than an actual Tejano artist. Guys like AJ Castillo, who is flashy and looks kind of like a hip-hop artist or an R&B artist. I think a lot of that tends to draw the younger audience. And I know for a fact that Tristan Ramos was influenced by AJ. So there we have one case of somebody that decided to do this based on the fact that
excuse me, AJ was his favorite artist.
Right.
So there's different bands out there doing different stuff. I think that when we come to are they producing any quality stuff? Um, it just depends. I mean, all of a sudden, everybody and their mother wants to have a studio
Right.
in their bedroom.
Right.
Is that a bad thing? Not necessarily. If you have a Mario Ortiz or Gilbert Escovedo, Gibby Escovedo running the board,
Playing
or,
keys on your bed, then it's
right,
cool.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then you could have some success. But if it's just somebody who, and am I right or am I wrong? Not everybody that is a musician can have success as a producer.
Yeah, I'm correct. I mean,
Okay.
yeah, you're right.
Because look, there's some músicos out there that are great, and then there's some músicos that all they stick to is their guitar. There's músicos like you. I mean, you got a bass, you got a guitar, you got a saxophone, you keyboards. You're like, you play everything, right? How
try
many
to.
instruments do you play?
All of them.
Yeah.
But my main one is keys, and then bass is number 2.
Well, that's your strength, yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Singing.
Gabriel Zavala, he plays a lot of
He
different
plays
instruments.
everything.
Yeah.
He's very good at all of them.
And what's his strength? You don't know. You'd have to ask him.
Right.
But I mean, those kind of guys that know a little bit of everything. But a lot of times, a lot of músicos that are up and coming, they just know their instrument. They want to master el bajo. They want to be the next, Max Baca or the next great bajo player. So they master that and they forget about everything else.
Right.
So I don't think that necessarily everybody that is in a group, a músico, can be a great producer.
Right.
That's where we run into some problems because you get some production that is lesser quality. I still hear some of the music from 93, 94, 96. The production
On
quality
current
dude,
recordings. Yeah.
I mean, being as old as I am.
How you gonna grow, man, if you
Yeah.
keep doing that shit?
Yeah.
I'm for real.
See,
I'm serious.
being as old as I am, there was a time when you could tell a 50s record to a 60s record to a 70s record. The production quality, everything changed, but for us, it seems to me that the stuff that was coming out in the 90s, granted, the big labels were here. They were throwing stupid kind of money at everybody. And not that they were using all that money to produce the album, but they were using more than what they're using now.
Right.
And so the quality was great. The songs were great. The lyrics were phenomenal. The vocals were great. Everything was on point.
Right.
And now you'll hear great production, bad written song. Little Mary Had a Lamb might be a great nursery rhyme, but it's not going to be a great Tejano song.
Right.
You'll hear some bad vocals. Bobby Pulido told me something interesting a long time ago. I said, dude, is it me or is your voice getting better? Your vocals. He goes, I've been taking lessons for X amount of years. Shit. He goes, yeah. And he pointed to his favorite golfer. He says, that guy takes swinging lessons. He's a pro golfer and he still takes lessons. Guys like you, I'm sure. How many hours a day do you practice? Your keyboard.
A day on my keys lately,
Yeah.
a couple of hours,
Okay.
man. I have to because I'm getting ready for some other stuff. So I've been
Right.
on my boards.
But I mean,
more lately. Yeah.
Joe Posada once told me that he
Oh,
rehearses
dude,
2
every
3
day.
hours every day.
Every day.
Every day.
Every day.
And that's what it takes, guys. Just because you know how to do something doesn't mean guys on a football field. Why do they practice? They know how to play the game. They know
Right.
how to catch a damn
Playbook.
ball.
Yeah, they gotta run the routes.
What's the Dallas quarterback that's coming back? My bad, I'm not a Dallas Cowboy
Romo?
fan. No, Romo's TV
Oh no, yeah, I'm
announcer
sorry.
now.
I'm sorry. Yeah, you say,
Anyway, the guy that's coming back, he still practices throwing the ball.
Yeah.
I'm sure he can zip it in there, but he still throws the ball. So it's about that. It's about having enough pride in your craft to keep doing it, not just because we got a #1 album. Fuck it, we're done.
Right.
You got to the more #1s you have, the more #1s you should strive to have. The harder you rehearse, the harder you work. It doesn't get easier because getting to #1 is real easy. Staying #1 is damn hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my
Anyway,
gosh.
so I mean,
But that's true. I
Is
mean,
it-
it's very true. I mean,
yeah.
golly.
Is there talent out there? Hell yeah, there's talent out there. Does it need to be nurtured? Yeah, I think it does. A lot of it needs to be nurtured. But the thing is that most of the talent out there is like, under the impression that they're great because their friends and their family tell them they're great. It's not a bad thing, but wake up,
Yeah.
They're not the ones going to buy your albums. They're not the one that are going to pay the ticket for your show.
I'm sure you have been through this so many times where, you're out there in the public, man. You're talking, you're doing your networking, and you're meeting people, and people are thinking that they're vibing with you, and that now you and, now yourself and Johnny Ramirez are buddies now, and then now it's like, hey, man, remember me, man? You're playing my song, and then you're like, shit.
Well, I've had a couple of people tell me, it's like, hey, you didn't play our record last year, and now we won Band of the Year. I'm like, okay, so what does that mean? Does that mean that record you brought me is any better? Because you won Band of the Year doesn't mean anything. Look, people need to understand, record companies have one goal. That's to make that single number one. And in order for them to make that single number one, they have to have every radio station play it. The more spins it goes to number one. A band, they also have, they have a plan. They need to get that record spun so they can get gigs. Because the more people hear them on the radio and they're going, oh, man, that's X Factor Band. I love that record. You go to a club, you're going to say, oh, yeah, I heard your record the other day. It's a great record. You get a gig, right?
Yeah, right.
Okay. Radio stations have to cater to all these people. And you have to play the best music out there. Trust me, half of the music I played on KXTN, I didn't like. If you see my iPod, you're going, you don't have that band? Yeah, you're right, I don't. But that doesn't mean anything. Musically, vocally, production, everything was on point, so we'd play it. Because, believe it or not, radio stations test their songs, They'll get 100 people in the room, and they'll play the hooks. People will say, love, hate, love, hate. So they test all the music. We don't just go out there and say, okay, I'm going to play this song because I love it. There's a science to all of radio. People approach me and they're going, well, how come you're not playing my record? And one time, the guy's a good friend of mine, and I'm not going to mention the name, but I was at
What's his
one
name?
of the restaurants, that restaurant up on I-10 and 410 with all the video games. I forget what it's called.
I-10 and 410 with all the video games. Dave and Buster's.
Yeah, there you go.
By Crossroads Mall.
Yeah, I was at David Buster's. We were having drinks and having food. Had my girl with me, a couple of friends, and this guy comes up to me and says, hey, Johnny. I said, hey, man, what's going on? He says, how come you're not playing our song? I said, dude, really? I said, it's fucking 10:30 at night. You're questioning me about your fucking song. I said, if we're not playing, it's probably because it fucking sucks, okay? And pardon my French. And I like that, I told him. And he looked at me, I said, I'm sorry, brother. I said, I love you like a brother, but you're asking me at a bad time. Call me on Monday, call me on Tuesday, we'll sit down and talk about the song. Have you called me while I was in the office? No. I said, then don't come to me on my off time.
Right.
I said, whatever it is, it is. And, my girl that was with me at the time, just crucified me that I was being a rude asshole. I said, I probably was, but I didn't want to hear that right now. I'm having a good time with friends, and he and I, we're still good friends. Believe it or not.
That's great.
Because he understands the game, and he understood that, hey, maybe it wasn't.
He might have overstepped his boundary a little bit. It's relaxed time. It's time to chill. Please we'll save that for Monday or like I said, Monday or Tuesday.
X Factor gets off the stage. You want to have a drink. You want to relax.
Yeah, man.
You want to just chill.
Chill for a minute.
Yeah, for a minute because you've been on stage and you're going 100 miles an hour and that kind of thing. So look, man. People think that I was on the radio and I was an arrogant asshole. I probably was at times. But I can tell you that when I was at KXTN, we had the best run. It was the best run of my life.
Yeah.
We did whatever we could to stay on top. And our morning show, ever since I came on,
How many years? 22?
22 years. Top 10 radio show. And there's 33 stations in San Antonio. Top 10 radio show.
Wow.
And
badass.
Did I change things? Did I try to look at the scheme of things, the picture of things that were going on and adjust the format? Yeah, maybe. But, I kept it on the radio. I kept it on the FM dial where it belongs. And to this day, I think it belongs there. It's not there. Not my problem. Somebody else's problem. But it was a great radio station. You know, we did a lot for the community. We raised almost $2 million for the Santa Rosa Children's Hospital.
Right.
We raised a boatload of food for the San
Yeah,
Antonio
I
Food
think
Bank.
I saw some
Some stats.
right here, right?
Oh yeah, we raised a lot of money for these. Yeah, well now they call it the Children's Hospital of San Antonio.
Okay.
But back in the day, and actually, my attraction to that hospital started with Emilio when he had Emilio's Tejanos for Children.
When we were doing Tejanos for Children?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, one day my sidekick and I like, hey, you know what we ought to do? I said, Emilio's got the Tejanos for Children concert next week, and he goes, yeah. I said, let's do this way. I said, let's get up on a billboard and do our show from there Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And he said, "Tá loco." I said, no. So I went to my boss and I said, Warren, I said, I need you to get me a billboard. He says, why you went? I said, no, I want to do my show from there. What? I said, yeah, trust me. We have all the equipment. We're going to take our equipment. We're going to do our show from the billboard. And he says, why? I said, we're going to help Emilio promote his Tejanos for Children. And then we'll wind it all down. Whatever money we raise, we go to the big concert. And I think the first one they had it was at Sunken Garden.
Sunken Gardens.
Yeah, we'll go to Sunken Garden. We'll present
I was
Emilio
there.
with this big-ass check.
Yeah.
Whatever we raise is what we raise, and it goes towards a cause.
Yep.
And he says, I like it. So we made it happen, you know. And Emilio went up and got up on the billboard. Raulito was like, Raulito. He was shaking in his boots. But I think he got up there for a little bit. Everybody would come out. Ram, Jay, all of them would come out. And
I remember.
Yeah,
beautiful, man.
Yeah, it was a good time. You know, they come out in the nighttime, and we stayed there. And the thing about it was that it was my idea, and, everybody hated me for it. But we stayed there from Wednesday morning and did not get off till Saturday, I think at 12 or something like that. And we slept up there.
You slept there?
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah. We
So then y'all would go on air, but early in the morning, right?
Yeah.
Like at 5 or something, right? So
Right.
then-
We were on the air from
So
5 to 10. We do our show from 5 to 10, and then we get off, and then we just do what they call call-ins. Twice an hour. Hey, what's up, Russell? We're still out here at I-35, right in front of whatever the billboard company was that owned that billboard. And, coming out and donate
Wow.
5, 20. And as a matter of fact, if you give us $10, I've got Emilio's latest CD. I've got Ram's latest CD. That's always what I've loved about the artists is that whether it's time or, merchandise they would give us, and
Yeah.
Emilio, Ram, all of them would autograph it, Little Joe, and we'd have auctions, the guitars, everything. So, we had a good time.
Yeah,
man.
Joe Casillas and Johnny Casillas hated me because I would go and just, we have 4 shirts, 3 caps, 8 koozies, and they're like, dude, who's gonna pay for this?
Yeah. Well, see, and it comes out of their bottom line, man.
The bottom line.
But the real
times.
bottom line is that people don't think about what it costs. People think is that you reached out to them and you gave them an immediate koozie.
Yes.
And they gave you $10 and you
Yes.
shake their hand and you say thank you for your donation. And that's what sticks in their mind, the fact that they helped a good cause and they got a koozie.
Yes.
And Emilio was there or somebody else was there and shook their hand. And so it was always a good time. And, whenever we had benefits, toy drives, whatever, I could always count on all the artists, man, including the big ones, like Intocable and La Mafia.
Oh,
and all
yeah,
those guys.
dude.
But
Oh,
I mean,
heck yeah.
that's always one of the things that I've loved about our artists is that they're always there for you, man. They always,
I want to see.
always.
They're always there, dude. And that's one thing that I was going to say is that having the Tejanos for Children, because I was there from the very beginning too. So having the Tejanos for Children and then seeing all the bands come together and do this, that is the part that I love about about our industry. But then there's the other side of it where it gets real cutthroat. And of course, we already know, man, what we're in.
Yeah.
We are in the music business.
Yeah.
We already know we're going to get that shit.
Yeah, you go.
I already know.
You're the opening band, and your sound system sounds like shit,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Then the other
Just like
band,
that
it sounds
shit.
a little better. Then the headliner comes on, and boom, it's clear
Yeah.
as day, and you're going, wow.
Yeah, you're like, yeah, okay. Yeah. And then, of course, we're over here going back to Emilio doing the country tours and doing all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And what was so weird is that I never, ever felt any negativity, any kind of we're all Mexicans playing with Alan Jackson, and you know
Yeah.
what I mean. I mean, there could be some bigotry there, but I never felt it, man. I don't know if any of the other guys felt it, or maybe I was just naive to it or whatever. I didn't feel it, you know. So I really respected that part of it. And so when we come back home, you know, and do some of these Tejano gigs, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
it's not the same. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You gotta kind of cringe a little bit, but. I wanted to check out this because this is like your team right here, right? I mean, these guys.
That's the current team. I do a radio show still with J.D. Bolio Gonzalez, who
Yeah.
lives in Dallas now and works for Odyssey, which is the company. It started out as CBS, went to Intercom, and then they switched to Odyssey, doing one of those branding. You know, everybody
Yeah.
rebrands now.
Right.
You know how, and iHeart is like, that's the app, the radio stations are iHeart and everything. So Odyssey is the same thing.
Okay.
They've rebranded the Intercom app and the Intercom name, and it's now Odyssey. And yeah, that's J.D. Bolio Gonzalez and Jam and Jay still mixing for us after all these years.
Yeah?
Man. Yeah.
How long you guys been working together?
JD started, I started in May of 93, and he started in late November, early December of 93. Nice. And then Jam and Jay Javi came in either mid 94. Jam and Jay Javi was just a mixer, and back in the day when Tejano Rodeo was blowing and going,
Oh yeah.
he would walk in with his little, milk carton of albums, and he was mixer. They had an actual mixer, but he would mix when the full-time mixer would take a break. And,
On vinyl?
On vinyl, and he would
Nice.
carry, and then he'd come
Holy
back,
shit.
and he'd bring like 3 or 4 milk crates of vinyl, and he would mix. And he was a good guy. We started to talk to him. I said, hey, man, you should come work at the radio station. Oh, no, because he's real shy, real introvert. And believe it or not, most DJs are introverts. I am one, but I'm in front of this, and I know I need to speak, so I blow that off. But most of us are introverts, and he was real hardcore.
Really?
So he would run the Saturday morning programming where all he did was push buttons. And then I had this idea on Friday. I said, yo, Jay, I said, why don't you mix up on Friday? I said, Friday morning, man, let's mix it up, So we started mixing on Friday, and then we got to where we'd mix every morning, at 7 o'clock. And then he just opened up a little bit, and then he would do a weekend shift and talk and stuff.
What does that mean? Mix? Like what is he mixing?
Well,
Like
he would mix all the he could mix Emilio to La Mafia. To
okay, so
Joe
then he
and
would do
Jimmy.
his DJ thing.
Yeah.
Okay,
He would do his DJ thing on the 1 and 2.
Nice.
And he could go. This guy's incredible. Obviously it's all mixed on beats per minute. I have no idea what that means because I couldn't even mix hot chocolate. But this guy does it really
Hot chocolate.
well. This guy does it really well, and he can mix anything, man. Country music, hip hop, cumbias, everything. So he became our mixer, and
That's cool.
That was it, yeah. So
And
he's
then
still with
Kathy's
us.
asking something about what about Lady Di?
Oh, Lady Di, Diana. She is working for a school district, and I don't remember where, but she's working for a school district. Lady Di. Yeah, she is originally from Lubbock, and she came from Lubbock. Talk about she's got a great set of pipes,
Yeah,
Yeah, for a woman, I was like, damn. She was my morning show host for a while, co-host. So was Mico Rodriguez, better known as Go Kart Carlos.
Right.
I had Carlos Taboada. I had Lady Di, obviously, for a long time. JD was my morning show co-host for 3 years. So I had a slew of them. And I think that the fact that Big Papa from Dallas Fort Worth, he was a funny guy, still is a funny guy. But the fact that I had all these I'm kind of like, how some presidents are great presidents because they surround themselves with quality people in the cabinet. That was me. I surrounded myself with great people.
You had a
man. They
badass
were good
team.
at what they did,
Yeah, that's great.
And even though they just did this or that, they were great at that. So that's all I needed.
That's
them
all you
for.
need, man.
And they gave me 110%, so we were always good. We were always on point. It's the fact that we were the only morning show in San Antonio that was invited to the White House during the Clinton administration. That was pretty cool. We had a good time.
Y'all were out there too in Washington?
Yeah, we went.
Yeah, because we played out there. I think
Yeah.
Cabanas was out there. We played.
You
out
played
there.
during the Bush administration.
Yeah, we did Bush, and then we did we did yeah, maybe
It was Bush
I could have
because
sworn we did something for Clinton.
my owner, then owner, Warren Tischner, was a big Bush supporter. So he gave the idea of having Latino musicians.
Right.
And
I remember that.
Emilio went there, and he had all the other Latin artists do shows in Washington. But we went during the Clinton administration, and we do what everybody else does. What Leno did, what Johnny Carson did, what they all did. We make fun of whoever is in office. It doesn't matter if he's Democrat or Republican. It was equal. We'd slam him, and I think Clinton was getting ready to have one of those State of the Union addresses, and we were hitting him hard. All kinds of stuff. And I'm not sure if it was pre-Monica Lewinsky or during the whole Monica Lewinsky when it was coming out, and I was hitting him hard. So, La Raza, hardcore Democrats.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. They may think
Straight ticket Democrat.
Yeah, they may be in line more as far as thoughts and religion and everything with Republicans, but they vote Democrat.
Yeah.
That's the truth. Anyway, so I had a lot of people calling me and dogging me, like, "Hey man, why are you picking on Clinton, man? What's up?" And I said, and I would play all these calls back, and I said, you know what, you folks are right. I have been picking on Bubba a little too much. I'm gonna do something. I knew that for a fact he liked the mango ice cream at the Menger Hotel. So we got one of those big tubs of ice cream, paid for it, and we put it in a nice chest and surrounded it with dry ice and shipped it to him with a couple of our T-shirts and stuff.
Really?
So he got it, and it was a Saturday, and at the time I had a house in Austin, so on Friday nights I'd drive just to get away from it all, go get messed up in Austin in my old house where nobody could see me get messed up. So I would do that, and they're trying to find me. And at that time, Mico Rodriguez was my sidekick, and he calls me and goes, "Hey, John, Clinton's looking for you." I said, "Shut the hell up." He said, "No, seriously." I said, "Mico, I just woke up. I'm a little hungover. Shut the hell up." He said, "No, dude, Bill Clinton's looking for you." I said, "He's the goddamn president. He knows where I'm at, Anyway, so he called me and, "Hey, Johnny, this is Bill Clinton. Just want to say thank you for the ice cream."
Imitating him. That's great.
I said, "Do me a favor." I said, "I appreciate the call, but could you call the guy that's on the air right now and talk to him?" So I called Miko back, and I said, "Hey, he's going to call you back on the hotline," which is a number nobody has. How he had the hotline number? Well, he's the president, right?
Right,
They know
right.
everything. So he called him back, and Miko recorded him, and then he played it back, and then we played it back on Monday, and had a good little run, and got some coverage out of it. But then we get this invite. He was having a Latin press. He had all the press, Univision, Telemundo,
Right.
and so he invited us. I was like, cool. Wow. And so his people call him, going, "Okay." I said, "But is it okay if I wear my Converse? Because I wear Converse." "Oh yeah." I said, "Okay, could he have some Chevys?" And they said, "Okay, for you, he'll have Chevys." And sure enough, went to the bar because they had it there at the Rose Garden. Pulled up to the bar, and then I went to the other bar, and they all had Chevys. I'm going, all right. We're styling a profile with Bill Clinton and Hillary, man. And then,
Dude, that's
of course,
badass.
the previous mayor, what's his name? Used to be mayor of San Antonio, became the housing.
Cisneros?
Huh?
Cisneros? Henry Cisneros?
Yeah, Cisneros. Yeah.
Yeah, Cisneros? Yeah.
Yeah, so he was there. So we had, it was a good time, But I was telling Miko, is it me or are they following us real close to make sure we don't screw something up, But
Gotta follow the Mexicans.
It was a good time, man. We had a good time with Bill Clinton at the White
That's
House.
a great story, man.
It was
That's cool
badass.
shit.
I looked at Miko and Mike Pacina, who was my news guy, said, "Hey, not too shabby. We came to the damn White House, dude." Like, that's
But
right.
that's crazy, man.
It
That
was
I mean,
really
that's a
cool.
great honor. I mean, yeah, dude.
Yeah.
But that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool,
A little
man.
Mexican dude from the Valley visiting
perks
Bill Clinton in the White House.
Dude, that's cool, man. Yeah, that's amazing, man. You know what? Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a quick break and I'm gonna get something to drink. I'm getting thirsty. But check it out. I'm gonna play a video here. It's not really so much a video, it's an MP3 that you sent me, dude. I love it. We're not in the holidays right now. We're not in the holidays, but I have to play this because it's so damn good.
So here's what we used to take songs like most morning shows,
Yeah.
and make up stupid stuff, So my idea was to take the 12 Days of Christmas and totally screw it up. Is that the one you're going to play? The 12 Days of Christmas? Or is it the other one, the medley?
I think it's
Christmas medley.
I don't remember which one I was able to download, but yeah, it's one of the Christmas ones.
Yeah. So we, one of them I redid the 12 Days of Christmas. And
I think it's that one. Yeah.
instead of in a partridge in a pear tree, it was a perico in a stupid little tree. So, and what we do is we get off and we go sit at a gentleman's club, and we'd have a couple of libations.
Nice gentleman.
Yeah, libations, and we would get nice and toasted. I'm going, okay, I'm ready to go back and record, and we go get in the production room and just mess around and have fun. And I have a couple of those. We did like 4 or 5. I even messed with David Lee, that Tonta song.
Oh yeah. Oh really?
Yeah, I don't have that one, but we did. I think we called it Turkey. It was Turkey. We don't want to eat at Luby's Turkey.
So is that like for Thanksgiving?
It was for Thanksgiving. Yeah. Hey, can't get anything past Mark here, okay?
Right?
Yeah, that was
right.
Man.
Okay, turkey, Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Got it. All right, man. You guys, I'm with Johnny Ramirez, brother. You're amazing. Great stories. I'm gonna take a quick break. I'm gonna play some music here by Mr. Johnny Ramirez. I know it's not the holidays right now, but we don't care because we're gonna do it anyway.
Hey, it's Christmas in July.
It's Christmas in July, and it's actually July. All right, man. We'll be right back. You guys have been marked up.
On the first day of Christmas, my ruca gave to me a perico in a stupid little tree.
On the second day of Christmas, my ruca gave to me 2 Miller Lights
and a perico in a stupid little tree. On the third day of Christmas, my ruca gave to me 3 Church's chickens,
2 Miller Lights
and a perico in a stupid little tree.
On the fourth day of Christmas, my ruca gave to me 4 sartenazos,
3 Church's chickens,
2 Miller Lights
and a perico in a stupid little tree. On the fifth day of Christmas, my ruca gave to me 5 Selena tapes,
4 sartenazos,
3 Church's chickens,
2 Miller Lights
and a perico in a stupid little tree.
On the sixth day of Christmas, my ruca gave to me 6 lazy perros,
5 Selena tapes,
4 sartenazos,
3 Church's chickens,
2 Miller Lights
and a perico in a stupid little tree. On the seventh day of Christmas, my ruca gave to me 7 chones rotos,
6 lazy perros,
5 Selena tapes,
4 sartenazos,
3 Church's chickens,
2 Miller Lights
and a perico in a stupid little tree.
On the eighth day of Christmas, my ruca gave to me 8 besos locos,
Aquí la va tú, besos locos.
I
7
like it.
chones rotos,
6 lazy perros,
5 Selena tapes,
4 sartenazos,
3 Church's chickens,
2 Miller Lights
and a perico in a stupid little tree. On the ninth day of Christmas, my ruca gave to me 9 purple Barneys,
8 besos locos,
7 chones rotos,
6 lazy perros,
5 Selena tapes,
4 sartenazos,
3 Church's chickens,
2 Miller Lights
and a perico in a stupid little tree.
On the 10th day of Christmas, my ruca gave to me 10 dry tamales,
9 purple Barneys,
8 besos locos,
7 chones rotos,
6 lazy perros,
5 Selena tapes,
4 sartenazos,
3 Church's chickens,
2 Miller Lights
and a perico in a stupid little tree. Aquí la barbaro. On the 11th day of Christmas, my ruca gave to me 11 poor excuses,
10 dry tamales,
9 purple Barneys,
8 besos locos,
7 rotos chonos, no, chones rotos,
6 lazy perros,
5 Selena tapes,
4 sartenazos,
3 Church's chickens,
2 Miller Lights
and a perico in a stupid little tree.
On the 12th day of Christmas, my ruca gave to me 12 empanadas,
11 poor excuses,
10 dry tamales,
9 purple Barneys,
8 besos locos,
7 chones rotos,
6 lazy perros,
5 Selena tapes,
4 sartenazos,
3 Church's chickens,
2 Miller Lights
and a perico in a stupid little tree. Hijo de su, where I
Hijo de su.
Man, I messed up on this one, vato.
All right. So what's up with that, man? That's hilarious, bro.
Yeah, that's what.
My favorite line is the 3 Church's chicken.
Sure, chicken.
How did you get that every single time? That's
Miller
great.
Lights.
And it's also true.
Yeah, well, and times change now because now everybody has a Michelob Ultra. So I'd probably have to put Michelob Ultra in there because nobody drinks Miller Lite anymore because we have to watch the line.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just, at the time, and I haven't had Church's chicken in a while. I'm not saying it's bad. I just haven't,
Right.
So maybe times change. Maybe people change things. All of a sudden, Chick-fil-A is like leading the pack.
Yeah.
That good or bad, I don't know.
Yeah.
But so at the time, Church's chicken was hot, and Selena was on fire.
And they had a badass 3-piece with the biscuit and the fries. That's why I thought you said 3, like 3 chicken, because they have a 3-piece.
Pobrecito. Yeah, Mark used to go to
All the time.
all the time. But yeah, man. But I mean, and seriously, we're a little older now, so we try not to eat bad anymore. I still do. And if I was to tell you that that I don't drink, I'd be lying to you because that's just one of my vices. But I can tell you that was a really fun part.
Yeah.
It was the best 22 years I've ever had.
Yeah.
And I came to San Antonio. I turned 20 in August of '93. So yeah, if you're doing the math, I'm 67, folks. So it was.
You're 67? You
67.
look badass, bro.
Yeah, thank you, man. It's,
for real.
I've been blessed. I have a good life. I've had a very
Music
good life.
keeps you young, bro. That's what it is.
Well, but I mean, we do things we love. I didn't consider it work. We get there at 5 in the morning, and some of my co-hosts hate me because, we'd be up. Sometimes we'd have to do a club, and
oh my gosh,
get home at 2, and I'd be there 4:55, 4:45.
Oh my gosh, dude.
And my show was already prepped, and my guys would come in. I'm going at 5:10 or 5:15. Well, what time is it? 5:15. What time does the show start? 5 o'clock. I said, get the hell out. What do you mean?
Shit.
I said, you're late, brother. I said, I can't need you. You're late. I can't use you.
Wow.
You can't tell me to go. I said, yeah, I can. I said, it's my show. You're part of the show, but it's my show. And I was up at 2 o'clock just like you, man. I've been here. So if you can't be here, if you don't have that passion, if you don't have that drive, then maybe you ought to do something else.
Wow, straight to the point.
And
Whoa,
to this
shit.
day, I mean, I still believe that, the people that are out there on the road, they have to have a passion and a drive for what they do because it sucks.
Yeah. Well, man, we were just talking about a second ago while the video was playing. I mentioned that I wanted to speak to you about the change in the shift of when Selena had passed away and how it affected, your job, because here we have this, again, she was just doing what she was doing and she was rising. She was a rising star. Yeah. It stops,
Well, and if you think about it, to this day, she's still top 10 as far as Latinas, still has, number 1 albums. And it's been 25, 26 years since she passed. So, yeah.
Was it a shock to the system?
There was a little bit of a shock in the system. Back then, I didn't really think it would affect us that much because, we still had Emilio, David Lee was on fire, Jay Perez was on fire, La Mafia was on fire, La Fiebre. You had all these bands, Excelencia, Then you had a lot of younger bands that were coming up. And so I personally didn't think it would affect us. However, I would think that is probably one of the reasons why the majors just packed up and left.
That's what I was thinking, and that's what I was kind of leading to. So I'm glad you're bringing that up.
Well, see, and by the majors, I mean the labels, EMI, Sony, all those. Look, folks, they threw some stupid-ass money at musicians. All I know is what I hear. But $100,000 for an album, whatever band it was. And, Grupo Más was hot. Everybody was hot. So whether it was, we have, in radio, we have our A artist, our B artist, and our C artist, okay? You have to play an A artist once every 15 minutes, at least, and a B artist and a C artist. But if you play 1 or 2 A artists, because radio gets, graded or, by quarter hours. So if you win that quarter hour, you win basically the half hour. So you got to win that quarter hour. So, that's why people say, well, they're all playing the same records. Well, if you go to any format, they're still playing, whether it's Brooks and Dunn or Alan Jackson or whoever is out, Blake Shelton, whoever's hot in country right now, or the rock bands. It's all about winning that quarter hour, getting people to stay tuned in for more than if you get 17 minutes, boom, baby, you won that 30 minutes.
Nice.
So,
whatever it takes, almost.
I felt bad because she was what, the movie and the series made her out to be. She was really, really nice. Way too nice. way too nice to be in la onda, or part of the music genre, whatever music genre she would have chosen, because sometimes you have to be a bit of an asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah, and not that you want to be, but you have to every so often. But to her, to her credit, her dad was the asshole, and everybody else was just, and believe it or not, that's the way great radio morning shows work. Um, you have to have we call it. It's kind of like all the comedy shows on TV. There's always somebody that's the dick, somebody that's the dork, and somebody that's the deer. Okay, you have that formula for everything. Morning shows were no different. At the dick, the deer, and the dork. Everybody loves a dork. Everybody loves a deer. Everybody
loves an asshole.
Yeah,
and everybody wants to hate the asshole. Yeah.
Loves or hates the asshole.
Right.
So that was the formula for our show. And if you haven't figured out which one I was by now, but I mean, and so we stuck to our role. And when every one of my co-hosts would, I'd say, "You're getting out of your role, brother." What? I said, "You can't. You're doing this." I said, "Look at it from this point. You're the good guy, okay?" So then I kind of bring him back.
Just kind of compliments each other. Y'all just compliment each other.
You had to, not that you were telling them what to do, but you were bringing them back around to remember who you are. We remember your role.
Right.
It's kind of like if you're a keyboard player, you're a keyboard player. You know when you come in, when you back off, when you pick up, everything, right? And I don't know squat about music, but when
But you've been around it enough.
Huh?
I said you've been around it enough.
I've been around it, but just because I've been
You
around
know.
it doesn't mean that that I know it. But you hear music and you're going, okay, I like that. It's kind of like Chicago, the band Chicago, which I love. There's always something going on, always. In any song, and you're going, damn, how do they do that? How do they know when to back up, when to up? And so basically, the show is the same way, and just like a TV comedy show, you had that formula, and that formula worked for us for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when somebody would come in and I'd say, okay, your role on the show is, you're going to be this.
Yeah.
Okay. And don't worry about it. If I see that you're falling out of your role, I'll bring you back in. I'll roll. So
Yeah.
It worked.
So that's the system.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive, man, because I know the band stuff, I'm on the performance side. Yeah. Having that good team, knowing what they're supposed to be doing, it makes every gig just amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes every gig amazing. I never have to really worry about anything like it was in the beginning, and now everything, it's great.
So, and I mean, so like Raulito, let's take Emilio and Grupo Rio.
Okay.
Emilio was the deer, Raulito was the dork. No disrespect, Raulito, right? But that's how everybody, saw them, and they played their role real good. And Joe Casillas was the dick. No disrespect,
Joe. Dick.
No disrespect, but he was,
Love you, Joe.
He'd be the guy that come in and say, no, they're going on, they're only playing one more song, and that's it. And that's everybody has to know and recognize their role in order to have a successful group, successful morning show, successful company, Just, that's the way that is.
Right.
I don't know who predetermined that, but that's the way it is, and that's what followed. So
Who, give me a good story on one of your favorite artists that just means like just something that you remember from a certain point of your life, just doing what you're doing, being Johnny Ramirez on a location spot somewhere or something, or like even in the studio. Like, what has been your most memorable encounter?
I'll give you the most embarrassing first. And then I'll
embarrassing?
give you the best.
All right.
Yeah, it was embarrassing. We were doing, we had the privilege of going to L.A. for, I'm not sure if it was the first or the second Latin Grammys, or if it was the Grammys, but we went to L.A. and we were doing our show from Westwood One, the studios there. And if you live in Texas and if you work in Texas in radio or in the music business, you go to a place like California or Vegas, you can't set up your own equipment, right? Because it's labor. So they have people to set up your equipment. Like, where do you want this? Where do you want that? Set it up for you. Am I right? So we went. We couldn't do anything. We couldn't call. We couldn't put up our mics and everything. They did everything for us. So we'd walk in and like, okay, so do it. So we got there, and Selena was up for a Grammy, and she won the Grammy. And so we were going to call her the next morning. And so we were, trying to call her, and we had a guy on the other side of the window, and he was the board op, and he was dialing the number. He failed to tell me that she was on the line. So I'm going, so what are we doing, man? And I turn around, I tell my psychic, no, hombre, ya Selena se la tira, bien superstar. She doesn't want to talk to Johnny in the morning with Miko. Unbeknownst to me, she was on the line.
Oh, shit.
Really? So she heard this, right? And
what?
And so then, the guy says, hey, I've got her on the line. I'm going, okay, cool. I said, I did the call letters and, the station positioner and all that stuff. And I go, yeah, live from Westwood Studio in Los Angeles, we're here, and it's the morning after the Grammy show. And we've got our Latin Grammy winner, Selena Quintanilla, and brought her on and everything. And, the fanfare and all that kind of stuff. And we're just, having a good time with her, asking her the questions and all that. And I forget what questions we asked her, but we're having a good time. And so then I say, hey, Selena, I know you haven't got much sleep. I said, thank you so much for being on the show. We appreciate it. Good luck. Safe trip back to Texas, and we'll see you back. We'll see you when we see you. And she's going, okay, thank you. She was like professional, dude, to the T. And then he says, okay, we're out. So we're playing music. And I go, hey, Selena, just seriously, thanks. And she's going, okay, can I ask you a question? You really think I'm big shit? Like, what? Because I was on the line when you were saying that. I said, oh, my God. I said, Selena. I said, no. I said, it was just a joke, a dumb joke that, I'm with Miko here, I said, I would never think that of you. Because I didn't.
Right.
But it was embarrassing, and to some extent it was like, how they always say that a mic is like a live, a gun. You don't know if it's loaded. It's always treated as it's loaded. So a mic should always be treated as it's open.
Yeah.
That was lesson learned, but I was more embarrassed than anything. And then we were having morning show meetings in L.A. So we got out, we did our show, and then we went, and we had a big meeting right around noon. It was going to be a luncheon. And I said, screw this. And I jumped in a cab, and she was going to be at one of the in LA. They've got Disney. What else do they have in LA? The other Universal Studios. She was going to be at Universal Studios, and she was shooting a TV show. I forget what show it was, and I knew she was going to be there at a certain time. So I jumped in a cab and I went, and I was there, and she was doing her thing and everything. Gets done, and hey, can I speak to Selena? I said, look, I just came to apologize personally because that was really a dumbass thing of me to do. I had to ask you. I said, no, seriously, I really sincerely need to apologize. She goes, no, you're okay. But, everybody was like, where the hell is Johnny? Where the hell is Johnny back at the meeting? And I was like, screw you guys.
Yeah. I had to go patch this up real quick. Yeah,
I felt that important that I had to go patch that up.
Right. Yeah.
It was just, it was Johnny being Johnny, just a dumbass on the radio.
Right.
But I didn't mean any disrespect. I had to go. Then let's get back to, one of my favorite things that I enjoyed doing was presenting that check to Emilio.
Yeah.
I think we did it for like 3 years. And Emilio was so, I remember the first time I met him, he was playing Sunken Garden, and it wasn't Tejanos for Children, it was something else. Mm-hmm. But you know how they'd always hang in the background and the VIP, the green room, whatever you call it.
Yes, all the green rooms.
And there was libations, obviously. And so our promotions manager says, hey, you want to go meet Emilio? Yeah, man, let's go. I was fresh in San Antonio, so we went. Hey, Johnny Ramirez, yeah, is that your real last name? I said, yeah. He said, that's the family in Dilley that are Ramirez. I was like, really? I mean, all of a sudden, he'd given me more information that I would ever want to know, you know.
Right.
He had family in Dili that were Ramirez. Maybe we're related and everything. He was that kind of guy that would always, you know, go above and beyond and make you feel like not just you're a radio personality taking up my damn time before I go on the air or before I do my show, but he was that kind of, you know, always just being real.
Real.
Yes, yeah.
Just real.
That's it, you know. And he always kept it that way, man. So it was,
Well,
that was one of the
He's
best kicks.
definitely a huge influence in my life.
Yeah.
Huge. Like, just seeing him as a vocalist. He was never meant to do any kind of business. He was never that guy. He was always the artist. You know? And like, I mean, I remember sometimes like, yeah, but you got to do this or whatever. He's like, why would I want to do that? But I'm not going to worry about that shit.
Yeah.
Let them worry about that. I'm just going to sing. You know what I mean? And it's like straight up, he would just, I'm just here to sing.
Yeah. But
You know?
when he was on the radio, he was always very cautious of what he said.
Oh, yeah.
How he said it. He didn't want to offend anybody. He always wanted to be the clean-cut Tejano hero that he was.
Right.
And he was for the
He
most
was.
part.
Yeah.
Was he flawed? We're all flawed, you know?
Of course.
But yeah, I mean, those two people, you know, are greatly missed in our onda right now. And not just because of the talent they had, but because they were real.
They were great people.
They weren't somebody on the radio, and then when you get off, you know, you hear them do their thing, and you're going, "Wow, okay, so this is really who you are." They weren't that way. They were real.
Yeah.
100%. You know.
Yeah, I miss him.
Yeah.
I miss him a lot, and you know, but I've told the boys, and you know, because we are very close, and I've always, you know, said that he's still paying me.
Yeah.
He's still I'm still on payroll.
Yeah.
Because his boys and I are tight. You know what I mean? Like, we're working on an album together. Well, Emilio and I are working on the album together, and my buddy Jorge Palomo. But we're doing like that, and it's just like, you know, I'm doing something different in my life. I'm changing things around, and they're supporting me doing it. So that right there is huge. You know what I mean? So for me, that's why I say I really think he's still paying me. You know,
They opened up many doors for a lot of people.
they did, they did, and for themselves. I mean, the boys are doing great with the Bandoleros, and
You know what what I love about the boys is that everybody knows who their father was. Everybody knows who the family is. However, they decided that they wanted to go out on their own and do something over here, not here. And that doesn't mean that the people that stay with the family name and try to do something here is bad, but they wanted to take another route. And I find that very interesting because they could have just said, you know what, we're going to, after Emilio passed, we're going to keep Grupo Rio, and it's going to be, you know, Los Navaira Boys with Grupo Rio. But they chose to go another path, another direction, which eventually has circled back and found them here. But they're still trying to create their own way, carve their own path, you know. And I think that's admirable.
yeah,
man.
I think that's
really,
great.
Yeah, I really I think that's really admirable.
And that goes back to what you were saying, you know, earlier about how these musicians in our onda are so amazing, because it's true, man. You take what you've learned. Like for me, like I've always been in variety bands, dude.
Right.
Ever since I was a kid with my dad and George Rivas and, like, you know, like those guys, I learned variety at a young age. So I knew, like, so that already gave me the taste of different styles. You know what I mean? And then the more and more, and then playing with Emilio, I loved Emilio because the fact that he was into like rock and, you know, country and that kind of stuff. So then we were exposed to that. But he hated my my stuff because I would carry like jazz, like, you know what I mean? I remember one time, dude, we were watching a video, a Chicoria. And
Chicoria, what a great guy, man. I love Chicoria.
And I threw the VHS, dog. And I put the tape in there, and I'm watching it, and this dude literally comes up, man. He's like, I told you to stop playing that shit. I go, Emilio, you're asleep anyways, man. I'm watching my, you know, because I waited till everybody went to bed.
Yeah.
And then it was after a gig. He had a buzz. So he ejects my tape, and he fucking goes to the bus door, you know, and the bus is, you know, he just opens it and
throws it out the window.
I go, damn, dude, what the hell, man? I'm like, God, man.
You know, one of my favorite Emilio stories was that you guys, I don't know if you were with him then, but they were performing at San Marcos at the Catholic Church. And And somebody said, "Hey, Emilio's in the bus. You want to go?" I'm like, "Yeah, man." So I knock on the door. "Hey, Johnny, what's up?" So I walk in, and him and Raulito and everybody, and they're rocking out to some '80s Grupo Más
Yeah.
stuff.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And Mafia.
Yeah.
And like, yeah.
There's Emilio and Raulito singing Kaya.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, okay.
Yeah. And that's another great example too. They're fans of the
Yeah.
music.
Yeah.
They were fans of it.
Yeah.
So it was no joke, man.
No, yeah, it was for real, man.
And maybe that's some of the stuff that's missing with some of the artists that are coming out. I do know that the way Emilio carried things and the way Raul, like together as a team, it was great. But just like the fact that Emilio wanted to make sure that whatever we did, we had it as a family.
Yeah.
The wives come and, we all had, he would fly because we were doing so well, or his career was just on top, so he would be able to budget it in and have everybody, like if everybody could go to Vegas for a few days, let's go. You know what I mean? Let's hop on a plane. And it would be like last minute stuff, and he wouldn't even mind. Like my wife would, she had a state job, so she can go ahead and like get out of there and take some time off and go. But hey, man, I want to just say thank you, man, so much for being here on the show. And I know it's getting late, but I do want to ask you if you can do me a big favor and sign my guitar.
Sure. And let me just say this,
man. Go for it, brother.
That, there's some great talent out there.
Yes, there is.
There's a lot of, that saying, misspent youth is not just because it's a saying. Mm-hmm. I think that for the young bands that are out there that haven't found their way, be proud of what you're doing. And for so many years, I got sick of getting CDs with a Sharpie, the name of the song, the name of the artist.
Oh, yeah. They had those labels. And
because they wanted to rush it to the radio station. Be proud of what you're doing and be professional about it, because at the end of the day, that's how people will judge what you're doing. It's not the fact that it's going to be a great freaking song, that it's going to have great lyrics, that it's going to be number one. It's the fact that you didn't take the time to present yourself, and your music and your product in such a way that, people look at it and going, "Oh, this looks pretty damn good."
Yeah.
And then they hear it and they're going, "Damn, it's even better than what it looks like."
There's no reason. Well, number one, it should be cutting corners anyways.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, but there is no reason to not take those steps into your career. If you're gonna be doing this, man, you're right. I mean, that's pretty kind of crappy to have a CD with a song title, But at the same time, if you're respecting your music and you're respecting, that, I mean, because the music always comes first.
Yes.
Always comes first, because everything else will fall in place after that. Just like mind, body, spirit. Once you get your head straight, everything else falls in place. Mm-hmm. So how can you expect the music to even have a fighting chance if,
right,
you know what I mean, if we're not putting that time, nurturing it?
Have pride not only in what you're doing in the studio, vocally, music strength, the production, but have pride in how you present it and how you present yourself.
Yeah.
Look, I work at a Harley shop, so I'm here in a Harley shirt. I came up on my bike. When I'm doing a radio thing, I always try and put on the colors and wear the colors. I never want to embarrass any organization that I work for, and I don't think I ever have. Embarrass myself, I don't really care about that.
Right.
But when I'm representing, whether the Harley shop or Fierro, which, by the way, the Odyssey app, download it. Fierro HD is where we be. But we're going to Vegas the 19th, and we're going to be out there a couple of times, and we have to do a couple of things. So, there I'll represent, at least to the best of my ability, what I'm representing, which is a radio station. But have pride in what you do, man. And there's no reason why, country, rock, hip hop keeps progressing and our música keeps digressing. We're the only format, the only genre that's going backwards. And whether it's production, whether it's presentation, whether it's vocally, whether it's the strength of the song that was written, I don't know. Just try and pick the best stuff out there and do your best at it.
Yeah.
And so long as you know that you gave it 150%, then
can't go wrong.
have faith in God and that people are going to love what you do.
Right. And if you're always shooting for 150% and you come out at 100, damn, you know what I mean? You're doing great.
Yeah. You know, and to those people that say, well, you know, Johnny just kept playing the same 15 bands and he was an asshole. He wouldn't bring new people, new artists on. Yeah, I had some new artists. But by the same token, if you ask David, if you ask Ram, if you ask Emilio, did I play every single that they sent me? The answer is no.
Right.
You know, because I was also trying to play. Look, at a radio station, if you add 3 records a week, that's a lot. 3 new records. You know, you're the program director. You get an Elida Reina new single. You get a La Fiebre new single. You get a La Mafia new single. You get a David Lee new single. Then you get a, no disrespect, I'm just throwing names out there, a J.R. Gomez and a Lades single. You only have room for 2 songs. Of all those artists, what 2 songs are you gonna put on the radio station? You know, if you have 3 A artists and 3 B artists, you're gonna go with your A artists because that's what's paying the rent. You know, if you're on a football team, you want your A team out there. You don't want your B team out there, especially if you're playing somebody like the Steelers or the Rams or whatever. Radio works the same way. So when radio stations, and especially corporate radio stations where you have so many goddamn rules and hoops that you have to go through just to get a record on. I remember I heard Señorita Tequila by Jay Perez.
Mm-hmm.
I love that record, right? And the record label that wasn't the one they were promoting. And I said, I like this one. He said, that's not the one we're pushing. I said, that's not my problem. You have a different thing that you're trying to accomplish. I'm just trying to play the best music. I'm going to play this one. So obviously they got pissed off and they said that fucking Johnny Ramirez won't play our single. I said, I'm still playing a single off the Jay's latest album. That should mean something, okay? I'm just not playing the one you want.
Right.
So at the end of the day, and you know, we're 2 weeks into the record, and they call me, and they said, "Hey man, we need to ask you." Meeting general manager, the big corporate program guy, and we're sitting in the office, you know. Let me ask you about this record. I said, "Señorita Tequila, you think we should be playing that record, English and Spanish?" I said, well, I don't know. I seem to recall Renee having good success doing English and Spanish, just to name one. I said a couple of others, you know, Sonny Osuna, they all did pretty well English and Spanish. So, yeah, I'm going to stick with that record. All right. A week later, we had an auditorium test, and it was a brand new record, and it came up top 10 in the test. Everybody loved it. And they called me, and they're going, yeah, you were right. It was just a gut call, you know?
Right.
You've been doing music enough to know when a song's going to do okay or not going to do okay. It's a gut call. Right. You still do 110% because that's what the artist or whoever's singing expects from you. But you kind of know if it's going to be a hit or not, right?
Right.
You're hoping it is because
right.
you sweated over this thing, but you're thinking, okay, maybe it's not a hit, maybe it is. So, yeah, let's just take pride in what we do and in everything, whether it's singing it or writing it or producing it. And I think we can do better. And I think, you know, for those people that say Tejano's dead, it's not the 90s. I'll agree.
Right.
It's not the 90s, but it's not dead.
Right.
It's never going to die.
Right.
You know, until old guys like me and you and whoever's coming up behind us die, that's when it'll die. To say Tejano music is going to die, it's kind of like saying that country music is going to die in Nashville, you know?
Right.
It's never going to die. It's not a genre. It's part of our culture. So
yeah.
I
well said.
I really love what, you know, when I came to San Antonio and I had 2 opportunities to leave, one to Dallas and one to LA, and I said no because the thing that kept me here was the fact that I could call Little Joe and he'd be on the show. I could call Emilio, he could be on the show. I could call Selena. You know, Little Joe, he was my young boy hero, you know?
Yeah.
Ruben Ramos, all these old cats, and I could call them and they'd be on the show. And then we had all these up-and-coming artists, Emilio, Selena, Ram, and I was like, crazy, man. You want me to leave Texas and go do this? Ta loco. You're going to work for the #1 station and, whatever. I'm like, yeah, I don't care, dude. I'm good, man. Trust me, I'm good. So
I'll show these real quick.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
So this is a cool one here. This is you, Emilio, and then Ricky's right there in the back.
Yeah, that black and white one on the upper right and the bottom one, too, on the lower, we're presenting checks to him at Tejanos for Children, which always was a kick. I really enjoyed doing that.
Oh, man.
Emilio had a big heart, and Tejanos for Children somewhere at what used to be Santa Rosa that is now Children's Hospital. They have a plaque with his name on it. That wing was named after, Tejanos for Children, which I always thought was a great honor. I was like, all right.
And there's some Selena stuff right there.
Believe it or not, that's the only picture that I have with Selena, dude.
Really?
Yeah. And that was at a Jack in the Box.
Really?
Yeah. We interviewed her because something had fallen through the wayside or through, and she was going to have a concert at the Old Hemisphere, and she needed some promotion, so we brought her on the show, and she did her thing, and again, always a professional. But I said, Abraham called. Hey, I was like, well, we're at Jack in the Box, Abraham. If you want to come over here, we'll give her whatever time you want. And yeah, we did, and we promoted the hell out of the show.
So they came to you.
Well, they came to Jack in the Box because we were there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Not that they came to me. Come on,
Okay.
Because Muhammad, the mountain never comes to Muhammad,
Right.
So, but I mean, it was, look, man, when people get in a situation and it's like, well, I'm here. If you want to come here, we'll do whatever you want, Right. So we did. We blew it up.
Let me help you.
Yeah, and we blew it up, and it was a great success for her, that show at the Old Hemisphere Arena. So, but yeah. Little Joe, man. Joe. King of the Brown Sound there.
I found these on your Instagram page.
Instagram. I think Facebook has a couple. Yeah. I used to love social media a lot, but now it's kind of like depressing sometimes, It's kind of people turn on you all of a sudden for whatever.
Bro, don't even get me started on that. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, man. It's a lot of work, man. So
it is definitely a lot of work.
Johnny Miracle again. So that's cool, man. And that's it. So tell me, okay, so you said Johnny Ramirez in the morning.
Yeah, right? We were on from 6 to noon. It's the radio station. The actual radio station is in Dallas, but you can listen on the Odyssey app. It's AUDACY, and then just look for Fierro HD, and we're on.
Okay, cool.
Everything that we used to do at the old station, we do at this station. And
cool.
I really enjoy it because I'm not in charge of anything or anybody. When I started at KXTN, it was just a show I was in charge of. And then for whatever reason, they said, you've been here long enough, you're going to be the program director. I said, I don't want to be the program director. It's not up to you. You want your job, you be the program director. I said, okay. So I became the program director. But, some people say, wow, you used to play country and stuff. You're right. We played country and we played some oldies because I noticed that there was a shift. And correct me if I'm wrong, people, but when you go to a club, you dance to country music, you dance to hip hop, you dance to oldies, you dance to everything, right? Because that's who we are, because we love all kinds of music. So then we did some research, and I figured, okay, we play one country song here, one top 40 song here, or, an oldie or whatever, and the rest is Tejano. It'll save the format. And it did. It kept us afloat for a long time. And, I was done in October of 2015 when I was I call it that I was a casualty of, the penny pinchers, the bean counters, and I said, okay, if it's the end of it, it's the end of it. Good for you and good luck. So I was a casualty of that. And, but, as far as when I was there, we were blowing and going. We made a lot of money for that company, man. We made a lot of money for that company. And to some extent, I like doing what I do as far as radio. And right now, I'm not doing it for a whole lot of money, but, I trust JD. I have faith in what he does. And so I'm along for the ride. But back then, I knew they were making money off of me. So, yeah, I wanted my share. So I made a lot of money with that company.
Yeah.
Where is it? I have no idea. Like most Tejanos,
It's in that badass bike you got out there. I'll tell you that.
Well, I have, But anyway, but I would have $1 in my pocket, and I was trying to figure out how to spend $3. Like all of us.
Oh yeah.
So that's my problem. Financially, I'm a wreck, dude.
I'm a wreck too.
Business-wise, I'm a wreck.
Yeah.
I bet if you were
trying to
married, you
learn.
wouldn't have this good-looking house,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Well, it's not always me though. It's the other one that's taking care of it, man.
Yeah.
But I would love for you to sign my guitar,
Sure.
man.
Where?
Wherever
There's
you
no
can find a
room.
spot.
Okay. I will sign his guitar, folks,
That's
and
right.
I hope it doesn't bring the value down.
Let's see.
Even on the side. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
you can do anywhere you want, brother. Anywhere you
Alright.
want. Johnny Ramirez signing my guitar. All right, brother. You're going to see a very cool outro to my show because you're going to see some familiar faces on there.
Really?
Yes, sir. You guys, I want to thank you so much. I want to thank Johnny Ramirez for being on the show, but I want to thank you guys for staying tuned in, and it's been a great conversation, and I know we're going to do it again. I know it. But thank you again. We'll be here next week again, same place, same time. Thank you for signing my guitar, brother.
Yes, sir. Man, look at all those signatures.
Yeah, dude.
Some
Some
were-
are local, some
yeah.
are, like some local talent. Some I got some
If
great
you ever
guitar players.
put a bid on this guitar, just tell him to take the one right off of here to just, wipe it off. It'll be worth a lot more money. But listen, man, thank you. When you asked me to be a part of it, well, sure, but I just don't understand why, because obviously you've had people in the music business, people that have either influenced you or you've been a part of somehow
Yes,
their
sir.
recording, their career, whatever. And I think it's a cool thing that you have this podcast.
Thank you.
Because I think we need more transparency.
Yes.
And in what we do and what radio stations do, what radio stations do. And look, people feel that they have a right to have Tejano music on the FM. You don't. Right. There is no God-given right. There is no, you don't have it's not a right under the Constitution or the Bill of Rights or any of that. To have a Tejano station on the FM is kind of like having a driver's license, because you don't have a right to have it's a privilege.
Right.
So
Correct.
to have a radio station on the FM dial or to hear music, Tejano music, anywhere on the FM dial is a privilege, and we should treat it as such. When we go to shows, when we buy CDs, when we support you guys, that is how that privilege becomes a reality, and it comes into FM back again. Will there be a big FM stick in San Antonio? I can't tell you that. It's about money.
Right.
Radio is about money. I do believe that there is more mom and pops involved in radio stations. You could see, a Tejano on the FM. And I mean on a clear FM. There's a couple of stations in San Antonio that are promoting themselves as Tejano stations in San Antonio, and you hear them throughout, but you don't hear a crystal clear signal like you did KXTN, and again, that's a privilege. To those stations that are out there beating the drum, good for them. They're getting it done. But it's still a privilege, because those guys need to make money. They have overhead. They have to pay jocks. They have to pay the light. They have to pay everything. And it comes from advertising. If you feel that, you were wrong because KXTN is no longer on the FM dial, do something about it.
Yeah.
And you're going, well, how? Think about it, What hurts a company? The pocketbook. So hurt them in the pocketbook. Will people do that? I don't know. Rebecca was talking about the crab mentality. And it's kind of like, como Hispanos, we can't see somebody do better than us because we become envious, And instead of helping them, lifting them up and giving them a hand up, we grab them by the collar and bring them back down. But that's just the way we've always been, I think, as Hispanos. To that end, I think the African-American people are so united when it comes to certain things, and hopefully, we'll see the light and we'll be there.
Yeah.
But to hear Tejano music on an FM dial is a privilege. So
Yes.
it's not a right. there were some groups that, we're gonna get an FM station because it's our right. No, it's not your right because it's not your money. It's the company's money, the corporation's money. Whoever owns a station, they had to spend X amount of thousands of hundreds of thousands of dollars for a license, for a signal and equipment. And so it's their money. So you can't tell them what to play.
Right.
You can't tell them what format to have. So, and we had that privilege in San Antonio for a long time, And if you remember correctly, KXTN started on the AM dial. And the company that started it noticed that the Tejano on the AM had better scores, ratings than the format they had on the FM, so they just flipped them, and the rest is history. Yeah. So,
wow.
And for those of you that wonder why radio stations play the same records over and over and over again, Top 40 Radio, I told you this earlier.
I love this story.
Top 40 Radio. They called it Top 40 Radio, and obviously it was English, but again, radio is a science, so everybody follows this formula, this scientific formula. Top Radio started with a guy who was a program director of a radio station, was trying to figure out how to beat the competitor, man, and he just couldn't figure it out. Yeah. So he went and sat at back then they used to call them malt shops, hamburger shops, whatever. He sat there. They had a jukebox, and he sat there and had a burger and a shake, and he wrote every song that was getting played on that jukebox. Every song. Roy Orbison, Pretty Woman 3 times, whatever. He was writing it all down, and he picked him and he counted it, and the top 40 records is what he played on that radio station. And all of a sudden, he beat the competitor who had a better signal and they had more money, but he beat him because he was playing the top 40 songs. As people, whether you want to believe it or not, the majority of the people like the best songs, Mm-hmm. Emilio's Como Le Haré, everybody loved it, Mm-hmm. Emilio's Juntos, everybody loved it. So, Rams, Rosas para una Rosa, David Lee's, Poquito a Poco, or Paloma Sin Nidal, Little Joe's, Las Nubes, they all have these songs. They didn't become number one because people didn't like them, and you can play them every single day, and they're not going to get tired of them.
Right.
And there's a few people that are going, playing the same music over and over again. Yes, we are, but we are catering to the masses, not to everybody, but to the majority of the people. Right. And that's how you win with radio. And ratings are followed by money, by sales, and eventually when ratings go down, then the revenue goes down. But it's always ratings equals revenue, revenue equals ratings. And that's how you win in radio. So
wow.
Anyway, that's the story of Top 40 Radio. He wrote it all down.
40 songs.
40
His
songs.
Top 40
and he
songs.
Just picked 40, because let's say you play 12 songs an hour. That gives you a 3-hour rotation. Those are what they call your power records, and you slam them and you slam them hard. And people are going, wow, this guy's playing all my favorite songs, because they were at the same malt shop and they were loving everything they were playing. So,
wow.
A little radio trivia there.
Dude, that was, when you told me that earlier, I was like, dude, that's amazing how he came, top 40.
Yeah.
Best top 40 tunes.
Top 40 Radio. He wrote the top 40 songs that they played on that jukebox, and that's what he programmed.
And the rest is history. And
he won. And they were bigger. They had a better signal. They had more money, and he kicked their ass.
Dang, dude.
Anyway.
And that's true. That's great. He just thought outside the box. He figured something out, and there you go. And then you win. So I think that's very important. It's just the fundamentals. It's the 101 of your career. Don't overwork it. Don't overthink it.
Yeah.
Just let the music talk, man. Just stay with it, and be cool. Don't force it, man. Because
just think of Kiss.
Think of Kiss.
What is Kiss? Keep it simple, stupid.
I thought you were referring to the band Kiss.
No, not the band. Everything, don't overthink it. Keep it simple, man. Because, nobody is going to reinvent the wheel. Nobody's going to reinvent the automobile. It's already been done.
Right.
Your job is to perfect it and to guide that automobile to your path where you're going with your music.
That's right.
So then you keep going, man. So I think that's how it works. And I think, and Don't listen to what I call los mamones that want free tickets, and free CDs. Listen to the people.
mamones.
Well, because I mean, you're always going to have somebody who's going to suck up to you and tell you that was a great song.
Yeah.
Is it a great song? I
Yeah.
don't know. Do they know? No, they're just sucking up to you because, Emilio had a slew of people that always wanted to get in for free and wanted Emilio stuff. Every band does, So listen less to them and listen to the people that are in the industry,
Yeah.
Take it to a Gibby and see what he thinks, You might not like what he says, but that'll make you do something about
Oh
it.
yeah, maybe you can go back to the drawing board. You know what to work on.
I had a guy that brought me a CD, and it turned out it was the song of the year that year. He brought me a CD. He says, "Bro, I really need you to play this, man. I need to gig." And I was like, "Okay, let me listen to it." It was a great song. He wrote it. It was really a good song. And I was like, "It's a good song." I said, but there was something missing. I couldn't put my finger on it because, again, I'm not a musician. But from the radio standpoint, there was something missing. And I said, "Do you like that song?" He says, "Well, I could have done this. I could have done that. I could have done that." I pulled the CD out. I said, "Here, go do it and bring it back to me." "But I need to gig, dude." I said, "I'm not going to play it. Do what you said you wanted to do and bring it back to me."
Right.
He brought it back to me. Turned out to be one of the most popular songs of that year on the radio station. And it won him Song of the Year.
Wow.
So I was like,
Yeah.
If you've been doing this long enough and you're going, "Man, I should have sung it this way, I should have done that way," go back and do it.
Yeah, go back and do it.
Yeah. I mean, take a little time. And again, take pride in what you're doing, man. It's going to represent what you do, who you are. And people are going to say, "Yeah, this dude's top notch, man. Everything, all the T's are crossed, all the I's are dotted, and he's on point. So why not?" So
Exactly.
Anyway.
That's great advice, man. No, for real, that's great advice because it's very important for people who are maybe not the ones who are always complaining, but can complain and whatever. It's like it's your life, it's your job,
Yeah.
it's your choice. It's you. If you're gonna be a musician, you better know what you're getting into because it's not the easiest thing to do. You know what I mean? But it's very fulfilling. It's very because you build brotherhoods. But if you are going to be focusing on your music, and we have like one of the biggest DJs in our industry.
Why you got to talk about
You
my
gotta-
waistline right now, man? Come on now. No, but seriously, I mean,
It's very, very true.
if you own a car, it's your car. Are
your
you going to
car.
let somebody else drive it? Probably not, right? Because you want to drive the car because, you want to. So by the same token, you direct your career. You take your career in the path that you want to take it to. But, if you're going, "Man, I should have done that," well, then go back and do it.
Yeah, and then don't do it all by yourself either, man. Like, get your team. It's like you're talking about he's talked very highly about his KXTN team. I talk about my
dude,
band.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you have these components that
Man,
will not
I-
let you down, and they're going to support you.
I
That's
work with
what
some
you want to
badass
do.
people: Naomi
Yeah.
G, Tina, Big Papa, Lady Di, JD, Mico Rodriguez, Carlos Tabuada. I work with some great people,
Yeah, man.
and then the afternoon people, Dr. Rex and everybody.
Yeah.
It was a fun crew. We had fun,
Yeah.
Kenny G. I used to listen to Kenny G in the Valley when I was in growing up. I was going to school in the Valley, and I heard, Kenny G, great pipes. He was working at a top 40 radio station. He was going to be selling cars or something. So I went out because I wanted to meet him. And I go up there and going, "Hey, I'm here to see Kenny G." "That's me." I said, "No shit," because he didn't have a right arm. He only had one arm. I'm going, "You're Kenny G?" He goes, "Yeah." I said, "Dude, how the fuck do you do that?" He says, "What do you mean?" Because, back in the day, you had tape, the reel to reel.
Right.
And when you took a call, and he would have the razor blade in his mouth, and he was, doing this, and then he would take it and edit it with one hand. And I'm going, "How the hell do you do it in a 3-minute span so you can play the winner back after the song?" And because he was that good, and he still is that good. He was amazing. When I saw him, I was like, "Kenny G." So I had the pleasure. He was working in El Paso, and JD asked me, he says, "Hey, we need an afternoon guy. What do you think of Kenny G?" I said, "Are you kidding me? I freaking love him, man. Are you going to give him a job?" He goes, "Yeah." I said, "Bring him on, man." So he worked Tejano, and he was at the beginning. He was kind of, because he didn't know the music. He didn't know everything. I said, "Kenny, don't worry about the music, brother. just do you, man. Do radio like you do it, because he was a great radio guy in
Wow.
the Valley, man. He was one of 2 Hispanics in the Valley, which is like 80% Mexicano. He was only one of 2 Hispanics that worked in the Valley at Top 40 radio station. I said, you just do you, Kenny. Don't
That's
worry, man.
great.
I said, the music, it'll come, man. You know, you'll start to learn who these guys are and this, but you just do radio, do radio the way you do radio. And he did, man. And but yeah, I was like, wow, one arm, and this guy can edit tape like nobody's business.
That's amazing, dude. And you know, I think like all that brotherhood stuff, and just going back to the brotherhood, man, of everything, man. You know, it's just we have that over here. You know what I mean? And you have it, and you know, I'm hearing you talk, man. I would just and I'm just thinking of like having you back, but having you back with some of the crew.
It would
you know
be
what
cool.
I mean?
You
That
know?
would be kind of cool, man. To see about trying to get you know just kind of like a reunited.
It would be
kinda,
cool to have a little
yeah.
reunion show.
I don't know if I'm
and-
worthy of that kind of stuff, but I would love to kind of like poke your head. I mean, kind of get in your brain a little bit and poke around and see if that would work.
There's nothing up there, brother. I know for a fact there ain't nothing up there, okay?
Well, in my eyes, brother, you are an amazing
Mark,
man. Thank you for
my
being
brother.
here, bro.
Oh, thank you
Really,
for the
man.
invite, man. You know?
Yeah, man. It was, and thank you for signing my guitar, man. I know you're we're out bike riding, doing your thing, your little relaxation
It's all
time.
good, yeah. It's all
Yeah,
good.
man.
We're good.
Yeah.
We're good.
So
But
thank you.
I appreciate the invite, and
Yes,
thanks
sir.
to everybody that tuned in and everybody that chimed in on
Facebook and
Facebook and
man.
YouTube or whatever it is. Yeah.
Yeah, there's some
there's
great show
Joaquin
cat.
Cura,
Yeah, Joaquin's been in there for a little
Dude, that
bit.
guy's got some talent, man. For
Oh, I do, Joaquin.
For a young pup. Yeah.
Yeah, he's talented.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's
There's
a great
some,
singer.
You know, there's some real talented guys. Joaquin is one of them. David Lee's current singer. You know, Cesar. Man, for his young age.
I had him on the show.
For his young age, all the old songs that he knows, you know, he grew up with the Serrata, so he knows all that stuff. But I'm impressed with some of the young talent that's out there, and I'm like, you know what? You give these guys just a little bit of a running room, you know, a little bit of a takeoff, and they're gonna be good.
Well,
man.
those guys too are also the ones that are gonna be, you know, like they are the younger generation, so they're gonna want to be kind of carrying that torch too. So we're depending on them.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah.
So, you know,
So-
I mean, you know, to a certain degree, I mean, it's not their job to do
No.
that. But at the same time, if they own it right, shoot,
Right.
they're influences.
Yeah, but I mean, everybody's got to put in, como dice David Lee, su granito de arena. Put in your 2 cents, and I think, you know, this is a viable format, and like I said, it's part of our culture. But yeah, shout out to Joaquin, who I just saw on chime in there. We appreciate
Joaquin.
it. Yeah.
Well,
so-
thank you, brother.
Hey, man. Again, mil
Awesome.
gracias.
All right, you guys. We'll see y'all next Thursday. You guys have been marked up. Man, I'm going to show you this little video right here, brother.
Okay.
Love you guys. Have a great night.
Peace and taco grease.
There's no stopping me. Clear the fog out my head. Up in smoke again. So easy. I left my bags on the low road. Now I'm riding high. Feels like I can fly. So easy. Party people, come on. Party people, come on. Come on, party people, come on. Party people, come on. Party people, come on. Come on, party people, come on. Party people, come on. Party people, come on. Come on, party people, come on. Party people, come on. Party people, come on. Come on, party people, come on.
That's all fucked up. Let's do it one more time. Another track. Yeah, another track.